Vishnu, good morning. Am I audible? Yes, yes. Ashwin, yes. Good morning, everybody. Yes, Abhinaya, good morning. Puneet, good morning. Welcome to this webinar on Python programming. Deepak, yes. Good morning, everybody. Santosh, good morning. Kartika, Satya, good morning. Yes. So firstly, I thank the convener, Dr. Satya Murthy, for giving me this opportunity to take this webinar on Python programming. So this is going to be a 1-hour session. Firstly, I will just give a brief introduction to Python, and then I will just discuss with you about the applications of Python and everything. So basically, we have two different types of programming languages. If you have any doubts, you can just ask me at the end. Alright? Yes, good morning everybody. Santosh, good morning. Jatin, good morning. Kartika, yes, good morning everybody. Basically, we have two different types of programming languages. One is called as a high-level programming language, and one more is called as a low-level programming language. Python, C, C++. So basically, what do you mean by a program? We are going to give some instruction to the machine, computers. So based on the instructions given, it is going to perform some specific task. So this is what is called as a program. We have two different types of programming languages. One is called as a high-level programming language, and one more is called as a low-level programming language. Python, C, C++, Perl, Java, all this comes under high-level programming language. So machine learning, artificial intelligence, data science, all these technologies are growing at a very, very fast rate. Python is one popularly used language for doing any kind of predictive analytics because of its easier syntax. So whenever I am considering any type of programming language, I should consider the complexity of this language, whether it is an easy language or it is going to be a tough or complex language. So Python is an easy language. It comes under high-level programming language. Python, C, C++, Perl, Java, all this comes under high-level programming language. And we have two different types of low-level language. One is called as a machine language, and one more is called as a assembly language. So Python is a high-level programming language. As I was telling you, right? So it is fast to learn, and applications can be developed at a faster rate using Python. What do you mean by this high-level programming language? It is similar to English language, easier to use and simpler syntax. When compared to other types of programming languages, the syntax is simpler. And applications can be developed at a faster rate using Python. And it is platform independent. It can run on any type of platform. It can run on Windows operating system, Linux, Unix operating system. So it is platform independent. It is available for many platforms. And they can implement any complex logic with only very few lines of code. So just with 4 to 5 lines of code, for example, whatever may be the problem. So what is about machine learning? Problem solving. Towards AI, the world is evolving towards AI. So what do you mean by AI? Artificial intelligence. It is nothing but the human-like intelligence displayed by machines. Machines, they are going to think like human beings, and they are going to come up with some important prediction result. What is going to happen in the future? So Python is one popularly used language for doing any kind of predictive analytics. For example, you can take up any real world problem. So what do you mean by machine learning or AI? Problem solving. For example, I want to predict the climatic conditions, whether it is going to be a rainy day or it is going to be a sunny day, or I want to predict some diseases. with changing lifestyles, many diseases are spreading. Diabetes is one major lifestyle disease. What is the root cause of this disease? So Python is one popularly used language for doing any kind of predictive analytics. So far I just gave you a brief introduction to Python. Next I am going to discuss with you about the history of this language. Guido von Rossum, he is the person who invented this Python language at National Research Institute for Mathematics and Computer Science in the year 1989. So I just gave you a brief history of this Python language and why we have to go for this Python language. We have different types, so I can use Java language for doing predictive analytics. Why I am using Python language? So easier and simpler syntax. When compared to other types of programming language, the syntax is simpler and applications can be developed at a faster rate using Python. And why I have to go for this Python language, data processing task. So what are the different types of applications that can be developed using Python? So using Python language, so what are all the main applications of Python? So it can be used for performing some data processing tasks. So it contains an MDP library, modular toolkit for data processing library. It is used for complex data processing algorithm. So what is the use of this Python language? So it can be used for performing some data processing task and signal processing. Neuroscience data analysis. For example, I want to analyze the brain signals. So it has got a contribution in a variety of fields. So it can be used in data processing task, it can be used in signal processing. So Python has got a greater contribution in neuroscience data analysis. It is a great example of this Python. We can use Python for signal processing and advanced visualization technique. So all these are the important applications of Python, signal processing task. And Pygame, game making software. So it is one of the powerful Python modules designed for writing games. So it is going to attract older people as well as younger people. So you can see it can be used in, for example, signal processing, neuroscience. Whenever I want to analyze some brain signals and I want to come up with some important prediction result. So it is used in signal processing task. And game making software. So powerful Python modules designed for writing games, Pygame. And Maya Python is a great tool for movie creation. So we have different types of movies. For example, we have some detective movies or we have some other type of movies. So Maya Python. So it is a movie creation tool can be developed using Python. And musical software. So it has got a great contribution in writing music software, audio players, audio converters, musical notation. For example, I want to understand the meaning of music. Musical analysis, what type of music is being played, audio analysis. For example, I want to understand some music is being played. So I can analyze the musical notation with the help of Python. So music software is written using Python language. So all these are the important applications of Python. So it has got a great contribution in writing music software. And website development framework. Django is a very powerful website development framework. It is written in 100% pure Python language. Whatever type of predictive analytics I am doing, if I want to combine with Django framework, so I can combine with Django and I can produce some full stack, I can create some full stack websites. So Django is a powerful website development framework written in 100% pure Python language. Clear with this? So all these are the important applications. So why I have to go for this Python language? So what is so unique about this language? So I was discussing with you about different types of high-level programming languages. I can go for C language, C++, Java language. So why I have to go for Python? So what makes this language so very unique? So what are all the different types of applications that can be developed using Python? So all these are the different types of applications that can be developed. Data processing task and signal processing task, neuroscience data analysis, Pygame game making software, Maya Python movie creation tool, musical software. Clear with this? So it has got a wide range of applications. So it has got its contribution in a variety of sectors. So it can be used in musical industry. It can be used in movie industry, movie field, Maya Python, movie creation tool. It can be used in game making software, Pygame, game making software. So Python 2 is the earlier version. Python 3 is the latest version of Python. So Python 2 is the earlier version. So still Python 2 is available in the market. It contains some essential libraries which Python 3 doesn't have. Clear? So Python 2 is the previous version of Python. 1 minute. Am I audible? So Python 2 is the previous version of Python. So it contains some essential libraries which Python 3 doesn't have. So that is why Python 2 is still available in the market. So far I just gave you a brief introduction to Python. So what do you mean by this Python language and what are all the different types of applications that can be developed using Python. So if you want to download Python, so if you want to write any type of Python coding, you can download Anaconda Navigator. You can go to Google, just type, you can Google out, you can just go to Google, you can type Anaconda Navigator. So once you are going to click Anaconda Navigator download, it is an open source distribution. Clear with this? Just click the download button. And once you download Anaconda distribution, just double click. You can install Anaconda Navigator. And inside this, you have different options. Say for example, you have Jupyter Lab, Jupyter Notebook. So once you want VS Code, so once you want to go to Jupyter Notebook, just click the launch button and you can just start typing your Python coding. So whatever type of coding you want to do, so you can just start typing your Python coding. Say for example, this is how my new notebook looks like. Each and every cell, it is called as a code cell. For example, I am saying, I am giving some welcome message, welcome to Python programming. So whenever I want to type anything inside my code cell, so each and every cell, this is called as a code cell. Whenever I am going to type anything inside the code cell, I am going to get the output just below the input. Clear with this? So you can see here. So this is my print statement within double quotes. I am giving here as welcome to Python programming. So whenever I am going to type in anything inside my code cell, I am going to get the output just below the input. So it is just like a command line, interactive mode programming. For example, if I want to multiply two numbers, so whenever I am going to give anything inside my print statement, I am going to get the output just below the input. You can see here, so I am just giving this 2 into 3, so I am multiplying these two numbers, it is given inside my print statement. For example, so this is called as a interactive mode programming. Inside this documents, so whenever I want to open any new notebook, you have an option called new option, and under this you go to this Python 3 notebook. 1 minute, it is opening. So inside this notebook, so each and every cell, this is called as a code cell. Whenever I am going to type anything inside my code cell, I am going to get the output just below the input. For example, if I want to multiply two numbers, so 2 into 3, I am multiplying two numbers, I am going to get the output just below the input. Clear with this? So similar to this, you can use Python idle as well. So I have downloaded, you can go to Google and you can just download Python idle, and you can type Python coding in Python idle as well. For example, so whenever I am going to type in something, so for example, I am saying welcome to Python, welcome Python. So I am printing some message inside this. So I am saying here welcome Python. So inside this print statement within double quotes, whenever I am typing some message, I am going to get the output just below the input. Similarly, for example, I am typing something 3 plus 4 or 3 plus 5. So whenever I want to add two numbers, you can see here. So 3 plus 5, whenever I want to add two numbers, I am just adding this and I am going to get the output just below the input. Clear with this? So what do you mean by this and what are all the different things? So I just gave you a brief introduction. So whatever type of Python coding you want to do, for example, you are doing some AI ML task, machine learning developments or AI task. So whenever you are typing something, so you are going to get the output just below the input. So it is called as an interactive mode programming. Clear with this? Till this part, whatever I am speaking, everything is clear. Am I audible now? Actually, I increased my voice. Am I audible? Can you acknowledge I increased my voice? Yes, I am audible, right? Yes. Alright, so let me just give you a brief. So I just gave you a brief introduction. So whenever I am going to type something inside my code cells, I am going to get the output just below the input. Till this part, whatever I am speaking, everything is clear. So I just gave you a brief introduction to Python. So what are all the different types of applications that can be developed using this Python language? So next I am going to discuss with you about different data types. I am going to discuss some concepts in Python. One minute. So what do you mean by data type? So far I gave you a brief introduction to Python. Who developed Guido von Rossum? He is the person who developed this language, Python language. And I gave you some important applications of Python. So what are all the different fields in which Python can be applied? Yes. So next I am going to discuss with you about what are all the different data types available in Python. So what is the use of conversion functions? I am going to discuss with you about some concepts. So what do you mean by a data type? Whenever you are doing anything, you are going to develop something. So first you need to initialize the variables with some values. So the first step involved in any kind of development. For example, as I was telling you, right, so why Python is popularly used for doing any kind of predictive analytics? Because of its simpler syntax. So similar to English language, you can see here, the syntax is simpler. When you consider Java, so I have to specify the data type. Here you can see just I am saying A equal to 10. For example, I am analyzing the student's performance or employee's performance. So I want to initialize the age value. So I can say just I am initializing A equal to 10. So what do you mean by data type? So it is nothing but the type of value my variable can hold. So these four are the main data types available in Python. So firstly I am just initializing A equal to 10. So I am just initializing A with the value of 10. And then I am saying B equal to 10.0, floating point number. And C equal to, within double quotes I am giving here as hello. And D equal to, within single quotes I am giving here, I am just initializing a character constant. Clear with this? So what do you mean by data types? So we have, I have 4 different data types available in Python language. It can hold a integer value, whole number value. It can hold a floating point number. For example, B equal to 10.0. So B is initialized with the value of 10.0. And C equal to, within double quotes I am giving here as hello. So it is initialized with a string value, a sequence of characters. It is enclosed within double quotes. And D equal to, within single quotes I am enclosing a character constant. I will just show you a simple example of this. For example, I am just saying here, within double quotes I am just giving here as parrot. So whenever I am typing something, so if I want to print this at the output, so I have to give the corresponding variable name. So firstly I am just initializing the variables with various values. You can see here A is initialized with the value of 20 and B equal to 5.5. So whatever type, for example, if I want to store some age value, so it is of whole number type, integer data type. So A is initialized with the value of 20 and B equal to 5.5. So if I want to store some floating point numbers, I am just saying B equal to 5.5. And C equal to, within double quotes I am enclosing a collection of characters. It is enclosed within double quotes. And D equal to, within single quotes I am enclosing a character constant. For example, if I want to store the name of the employee or if I want to store the name of the student. So all these are the different data types available in Python language. For example, if I want to store some whole number values, integer values, I can go for this integer data type. A is initialized with the value of 20. If I want to store some floating point numbers, for example, B is initialized with the value of 5.5 and C equal to, within double quotes. So I am enclosing the collection of sequence of characters. It is enclosed within double quotes, a string value. And D equal to, within single quotes I am enclosing a character constant. Clear with this? So based on my requirement I can initialize this with any type of values. If I want to initialize with the value of, if I want to initialize the integer value, floating point number, string, a character, that is string value or a character value. So data type is nothing but the type of value a variable can hold. So based on my requirement, so for doing any kind of development, so what is the use of data types? So firstly, variables are nothing but containers. I want to initialize the variables with some values. Only then I am going to do. For example, I want to analyze the performance of students. So firstly I need to know the name of the student, what is the age of the student, to which department he belongs to. So next I am going to discuss with you about conversion functions. What do you mean by conversion function? If I want to change the data type of the argument that is being passed from one data type to another data type, so I can go for different type of conversion functions. Clear? Till this part, whatever I am speaking, everything is clear? Any doubts so far? Till this part, whatever I am speaking, everything is clear? So next I am going to discuss with you about conversion functions. What do you mean by this conversion function? From the term you can just understand. Anybody can tell me what do you mean by conversion function? Anybody can tell me what do you mean by conversion function? If I want to convert the data type of the argument that is being passed from one data type to another data type, so I can go for different type of conversion functions. Whenever I am developing some bigger application, for example, I was telling you, right? So I want to predict the age of an employee, or I want to for performance of an employee. So whatever prediction I am doing. So if I want to convert, for example, I am fetching some floating point records from my database. If I want to convert to the integer data type, whole number value, so I have to prepend with the corresponding data type. Yes, typecasting kind of a thing. Good, Srinath. So what do you mean by this conversion functions? If I want to convert the data type of the arguments that is being passed from one data type to another data type, so I can go for different type of conversion functions. For example, 4.5, this is the floating point value. If I want to convert to integer data type, so I have to prepend with the corresponding conversion function. And similarly, for example 6, this is a integer value, so if I want to convert to floating point type, so I have to prepend with the corresponding data type. To whichever type I want to convert, so I have to prepend with the corresponding data type. Clear with this? So you can see here, if I 4.5, this is a floating point value. If I want to convert to integer data type, whole number value, so I have to prepend with the int keyword. Similarly 6, this is a integer whole number value. If I want to convert to floating point type, so I have to prepend with the float keyword. So let me just show you a brief example of this conversion functions. To whichever data type I have to convert, I have to prepend with the corresponding data type. For example, 5.5, this is a floating point number. If I want to convert to integer data type, so I have to prepend with the int keyword. To whichever data type I have to convert, I have to prepend with the corresponding data type. And if I want to convert to floating point type, so whenever I am passing some arguments, so this is the corresponding syntax for using this conversion function. So I have to prepend with the corresponding data type. To whichever type I have to convert, I have to prepend with the corresponding data type. So I am just prepending this with float data type followed by the parameter or the argument. Say for example 8 is a whole number value. If I want to convert to floating point type, so I have to prepend with the float keyword. Clear with this? So this is one more important concept in Python. So next I am going to discuss with you about operators. So far I gave you a brief introduction to data types. So what are the different data types available in Python? And what is the use of conversion functions? If I want to convert the data type of the arguments from one type to another type, so I can go for different type of conversion functions in Python. So next I am going to discuss with you about operators. So this is one more important concept. What is the use of operators in Python? So I have different types of operators. I can go for arithmetic operator, I can go for relational operator, logical operator. So all these are the different types of operators available in Python. Yes, Ramya, so if I want to convert the data type of the argument that is being passed from one data type to another data type, so I can go for different type of conversion functions. To whichever type I have to convert, so I have to prepend with the corresponding data type. So next I am going to discuss with you about operators. So what do you mean by operators in Python? They are used to perform some operation. So for example, I am going to take some two operands. They are going to perform some operation and I am going to get back the relevant results. That is the main use of operators in Python. So I have different types of operators. I can go for arithmetic operators, I can go for relational operators, or I can go for logical operators. So what is the use of arithmetic operators? Firstly, I am going to discuss with you about arithmetic operators. So what do you mean by arithmetics? In mathematics, I can go for different types of arithmetic calculations. For example, if I want to add two numbers, if I want to subtract two numbers, multiplication, division. So all these are the different types of operations, arithmetic operations. For example, modulus, exponentiation. So all these are the different types of arithmetic operations. If I want to add two numbers, for example, if I want to add the records or if I want to subtract records. So what is the use of operators? This is one more important concept in Python. So it is used to perform some operation on the operands and I am going to get back the relevant result. So all these are the different types of arithmetic operators. I can go for addition operation, or I can go for subtraction operation, multiplication, division, modulus and then exponentiation. So all these are the different types of operators available in Python language. Let me just show you a brief example of this. So B1 equal to so firstly I am just initializing A1 with the value of 10 and then I am initializing B1 with the value of 20 and I am adding these two numbers. For example, A1 plus B1, it is stored in the variable C1. Clear with this? So you can see I can go for plus operation, minus operation. So what do you mean by arithmetics? In mathematics you would have heard about arithmetics, arithmetic calculations. For example, if I want to add two numbers, I can go for addition operation. If I want to subtract two numbers or if I want to do some multiplication operation, division operation. For example, I want to subtract one number from the other number, B1 minus A1. Clear with this? So you can see here, so B1 I am subtracting 20 from 10 and I am displaying this at the output. I can go for multiplication operation. So A1 multiplied by B1. So I am multiplying these two numbers. So based on my requirement, I can use any of the arithmetic calculations. For example, if I want to add the student records, so I want to know the marks obtained by students in different departments, or if I want to do some subtraction. So whatever type of arithmetic calculations I want to do, so accordingly I can use any of the arithmetic operators available in Python language. So all these are the different types of operators available in Python language. So next I am going to discuss with you about type keyword. What is the use of type function? So firstly I was discussing with you about conversion functions. So next I am going to discuss with you about type function. So what is the use of this type function? If I want to know the data type of the argument that is being passed, so I can go for this type function. So I have to prepend with the type keyword. So let me just show you. For example, if I want to find the data type of 8, it is of integer data type. If I want to know the data type of the argument that is being passed, so I have to prepend with the type keyword. For example, I am having 4.5. So what is the data type of this 4.5? It is of floating point type. So if I want to know the data type of the argument that is being passed, so I have to prepend with the type keyword. Clear with this? So all these are the important functions. So what makes this language? So each and every type of language, it has got its own unique feature. So whenever I was discussing with you about different types of high level programming languages. I can go for Python language, C, C++, Java. So whatever operations, say for example, I have numerous records when I am going to analyze. As I was telling you, right, Python is one, everywhere automation is happening. So many, the number of online transactions are increasing and automation is happening. A huge volume of data is being generated. For example, if I want to know the data type of the argument that is being passed, for example, I have to use the type keyword. Clear with this? So all these are the important functions or operations or concepts, whatever you can say. So what makes this language? So it has got some unique features. Next I am going to discuss with you about format specifier. So what do you mean by this format specifier? So if I want to know the what type of number is being displayed, so I can go for different type of format specifier. So I can go for percentage small t, integer, floating point number, string number, so character, long number. So all these are the different types of format specifiers available in Python. So if I want to know what type of number is being displayed, so I can go for different types of format specifiers. So number formatting, from the term you can just understand. So what do you mean by this format specifier? So percentage small t denotes a integer value and percentage capital F, it denotes a floating point number. Percentage small s, it denotes a string value, and percentage C, character constant, and LT, it denotes a long number. Clear with this? So what is the use of format specifier? So all these are the different types of format specifiers available in Python language. This is one simple example. Say for example, A is initialized with the value of 10. In whichever format I want to display these numbers, for example, I am printing A equal to percentage small d. If I want to display this number in integer format, so I am giving here as percentage small d. all the different types of format specifiers? So all these are the different types of format specifiers available in Python language. Say for example, I am saying here, so SD, for example, if I want to display this in specific format, I am saying here as %d, and I am passing this percentage of, so in whichever format I want to display, so percentage of SD. So SD equal to 20. So if I want to display in integer format, so I have to mention the corresponding format specifier. So in whichever format I want the numbers to be displayed, so I have to prepend with the corresponding format specifier. So I am just prepending with %d. Or if I want to display this in floating point form, so I am just prepending this with %F. So SD equal to, I am prepending this with %F. So basically we have three different types of operators available in Python. The first one is a arithmetic operator. The second one is a relational operator, and the third one is the logical operator. So what do you mean by this relational operator? For example, I want to check some condition. So in an e-commerce industry, so as I was telling you, right, online transactions are increasing at a very fast rate. You can go for Amazon, Flipkart. For example, I want to, based on some condition, I want to perform some operation. So I can, all these are the different types of relational operators used in Python language. So I can go for double equal to, not equal to, greater than or equal to, less than equal to. So the result of my relational operator, for example, I want to compare two transactions. So condition, based on some condition, I want to perform some computation or operation. So accordingly, I can go for different types of relational operators available in Python language. All these are the different types of relational operators. I can go for double equal to, or I can go for not equal to, greater than equal to, less than equal to. So all these are the different types of relational operators available in Python language. So I want to compare the age of two employees, or the age of two patients, or the salary of two employees. So based on my requirement, whatever type of operation I want to do, so accordingly I can go for different types of operators. For example, if the purchase amount of customer exceeds this one, he is going to get some discount. So I can go for different types of relational operators. Clear with this? So the result of my relational operator is a Boolean value. So it is going to return me a Boolean value of true or false. Say for example, I am going to check two numbers, 6 equal to 6. So these two numbers are equal, so it is returning me a Boolean value of true. So if these two numbers are not equal, it is going to return me a Boolean value of false. Say for example, I am saying 2 is greater than 7. So my condition is not true. 2 is less than 7, so it is returning me a Boolean value of false. Clear with this? So based on my requirement, I can go for different types of relational operators available in Python language. So I can go for double equal to, if I want to check these two numbers are equal. Or I can go for not equal to, greater than or equal to, less than equal to. And there is one more type of operator, it is called as a logical operator. So what do you mean by this logical operator? So if I want to check when more than one condition, So for example, if the customer purchase amount exceeds 100 and if it is less than 300, he is going to get some discount. So only when both the conditions are satisfied. So I have different types of logical operators. I can go for logical AND operator. I can go for logical OR operator, or I can go for logical NOT operator. So all these are the different types of logical operators available in Python language. So only when both the conditions are true, so it is going to return me a boolean value of true, otherwise it is going to return me a boolean value of false. So first condition or the second condition is true. So the first condition or second condition. So all these are the different types of logical operators used in Python language. So if I want to check more than one condition, so it is also going to return me a boolean value of true or false. So what is the use of logical AND operator? So when the first condition and the second condition, when both the conditions are true, I am going to get a boolean value of true, otherwise I am going to get a boolean value of false. Say for example, so it is returning me a boolean value of false. So in this case, my first condition is true and my second condition is not true. So I am saying 5 is equal to 5 and 6 greater than 9. Say for example, instead of this I am saying 6 less than 9. Clear with this? So this is the corresponding syntax for using my logical operators in Python. So firstly I have to do my first condition. This is my first condition, 5 equal to 5, and this is my second condition. Only when both the conditions are satisfied I am going to get a boolean value of true, otherwise I am going to get a boolean value of false. In case of logical OR operator, so from the name you can just understand. So what do you mean by this logical AND operator? And what do you mean by this logical OR operator? When the first condition or the second condition is satisfied, I am going to get a boolean value of true, otherwise it is going to return me a boolean value of false. Clear with this? So based on my requirement, I can go for different types of logical operators available in Python language. So in my first case, I want to check whether the first condition and the second condition, only when both the conditions are satisfied, I am going to get a boolean value of true, otherwise I am going to get a boolean value of false. Clear with this? So what are the different types of operations? So all these are the different types of operations that can be performed using Python language. So this is one more thing that can be performed using Python. So swapping functionality. So what are all the different things that can be performed using Python? X equal to x plus y. So I am just printing something after swapping. So I am just saying percentage d. So I am just saying to percentage d. So if I want to display something, I am saying percentage of x comma y. Clear with this? So after swapping x equal to and y equal to, I am saying like this, some message. So what is the use of swapping? If I want to interchange the value of two variables, I can go for this swapping function. I'm sorry. So firstly I am just initializing x is initialized with the value of 10 and y is initialized with the value of 5, and I am adding x and y. So x plus y, it is stored in the variable x, and x minus y, it is stored in the variable y, and again x minus y, it is stored in the variable x. And after swapping, so I am just saying x equal to percentage t and y equal to percentage d. So you can see here, so x now becomes 5 and y becomes 10. With this, I am just stopping this webinar. If you have any doubts, you can just ask me. Any doubts in today's topic, whatever I discussed? Everything is clear? Any doubts? Everything is clear? I just gave you a brief introduction to Python and what are all the different types of applications, and I was explaining about what is the data type and operators. Everything is clear? Alright then.